Hi, my name is Lori Cook, and this is my husband Jim, and we've been coming to community for about 18 years.
Small groups for me was a foreign term. I grew up in the South, obviously, and then we had Sunday school. We didn't have small groups per se, and my wife kept pushing me because she's more relational than me. And then I really got connected through the musicians here, and then another group called the Fight Club for me. It was 6 guys that had the similar backgrounds, and we really connected that way, and that helped a lot. That went on for years. That was probably 15 years ago, and I spent an hour on the phone yesterday with one of my friends from that group.
Then we did get into a couple small group, and that was also just awesome. And the funny thing is that our kids loved it because it was a couple small group, but the kids, a lot of times would be in another room, and so they got to form friendships. Our whole life was our small group basically, because our family's not here. And so our small group was our family
yeah.
here.
It was one of the best periods of their life.
And ours.
And ours, yeah. Meeting with small group.
Yeah, and
It
now
really
they're
was.
and now they're our best friends of all. The people that have just been with us through the hardest year of our life has been the people from our small group.
Yep. In 2014, December the 23rd, my wife and I were wrapping presents in the living room floor, and we got a phone call about 9:30. And it was one of our sons, David, and he said that Chad, his younger brother by a year, they were at the local fitness center playing basketball, and he had fallen, and they were pumping his chest, and he wasn't breathing. On the way to the hospital, Laurie got on the phone and started emailing, texting, and calling her small group. And I started getting different text messages and stuff from members of my small group. When I came out of the emergency room at 11:05, and they told me that my son Chad, who was 20 years old, had a heart attack and they couldn't revive him, I kind of fell into the arms of my small group members. I did not realize how many people were there.
And the hospital just filled. There was so many people there because my kids are in small groups, so their friends were there.
I would think there was probably 40 to 50 people there from different small groups.
Bill and Sherry live in Omaha, and they literally found out, left in the middle of the night, and drove 10 hours to be with us and stayed with us for a week.
We spent Christmas Day at the funeral home making details for Chad's service and picking out urns or caskets or trying to decide what clothes to dress him in. That was not a good Christmas. And Bill and Sherry were right there at the table with us.
Honestly, as I look back at this last year, I don't know if we'd even be sitting here today if it weren't for our small groups, the women and the men that have helped us do life. If I would have been back 18 years ago with the little kids and not having that community, I don't know how we would have gotten through this year.
Life is life. It's hard.
Yeah.
And it makes it easier and more acceptable when you're in a group.
For me, it's been the women that have held my hand and listened to me cry or literally hold me up when I can't stand.
Life is easier in a circle than it is in a straight line. And it has been. When you pray, you join hands and you usually get in a circle. I was holding hands with a bunch of guys one night and we were saying our prayer before we left. And I said, as long as I've got you under this arm and you under this arm, I'll be okay. And I really did feel that.